Any stragglers, take it online. Got a few people have actually jumped off in the past minute or so they might be having some technical issues. So we'll just give it a few seconds here for them to log back in and we'll get started. Okay, everyone, we're at 7:02, so we are going to call the meeting to order. It looks like the number of people jumping on has got back up to about 60 here. Seem to be losing a couple here and there. Hopefully everyone's technology is working okay and everyone can get through this meeting and this wonderful event here. And we'll get started by asking everyone to please join us by looking at Dr. McGrath's screen and joining us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to all the administrators, teachers, staff members, students, and of course my fellow board members who are joining us here tonight as we continue to celebrate the many accomplishments and achievements of our friends and colleagues, unfortunately, in this virtual environment. Regardless of the format, the annual Outstanding Student and Recognition Ceremony is a very special night for us. Perhaps more so this year, as we've had so many students lose out on so many end-of-the-year events and activities. So this year, it's important that we spend a little bit of time together recognizing the achievements of some of BHBL's best and brightest students. But it must also feel somewhat anticlimactic for our retirees, many of whom left their classroom or office back in mid-March with the expectation that we'd all be back together in a couple of weeks, a month, 2 months at most. And here we are on June 23rd, celebrating all those retirees in a virtual environment. Nevertheless, as you look at the list of administrators, teachers, aides, drivers, and support staff members that are stepping down from their posts this year, we couldn't possibly let them begin their retirement without spending some time thanking them for their years of service to our students and to our community. To all of you, on behalf of the entire Board of Education, I offer a most heartfelt thank you. This is the second year in a row now I've had the good fortune of emceeing this event, and it truly is one of the most special events we have over the course of the year, and it really is an honor to be here with you tonight. And as a board member who's stepping down as president here with this meeting, I can only hope that people will look back on my tenure as fondly as we look back on the time that all of you have spent here in this district working with our students and, of course, with all of us. And so with that, it is with great pleasure that we begin the night's festivities by honoring our elementary school students. And so I'd like to introduce the principal from Charlton Heights Elementary School to kick us off, Mr. Tim Sinnenberg. Tim, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. Congratulations to the fifth graders from Charlton Heights, Pashley, and Stevens. Our honorees have made outstanding contributions to their school and community. As they move on to the middle school and high school, we hope the children will continue to nurture their leadership skills through active involvement and participation in activities and service projects. A special thank you to the parents and families for their hard work and support. Congratulations from all of us, Dr. Evans, Mrs. Bonaccio, and myself, and all of our school community. We'll start with Charlton Heights. Congratulations to Abby Pearson, Gianna Aldi, Simon Trebovich, and Stella Kibler. From Pashley, congratulations to Daniel Moak, Tyler Yates, Ella DiCaprio, and Caitlin Kurgel. And from Stevens, congratulations to Alyssa Bikowitz, Molly Corrigan, Maxwell Gades, Chloe Green, and Caitlin Kennedy. Congratulations again to all of the elementary honorees. Next, we have Principal Colleen Wolf from the middle school.
Good evening, and thank you everyone for joining us, and welcome our middle school families and students. So tonight I want to congratulate all of our winners and just read you a little bit about each of the students. Our first winner is Addison Sear, grade 6. If Student of the Year were on The Voice or American Idol, she would have turned all 4 chairs and would have definitely received the golden ticket to Hollywood. That is why when we were asked to choose our team Student of the Year, our team did not look too far. Addison Sear was a star and we were looking for. Addison has many traits. However, a day does not go by that her kindness does not shine through. She's often seen helping others. Addison has a way of making all of her classmates feel special. Addison's fun-loving personality and good sense of humor are just some of the reasons why she's so personable to others. She is patient and hardworking, who is a role model for all of her peers. Her love for learning and her positive spirit shine on a daily basis. Addison is a serious student, always focused on achieving high standards of excellence. Her positive attitude towards all aspects of learning is contagious. Her organization and level of responsibility that she possesses as a 6th grader are commendable. She has a big heart and a friend to all. Addison, you want to give us a wave?
Mrs. Wolf, can we ask each of the students and the retirees just to turn your mic on when at the end of the recognition and just say hi real quick so we can see you. We only can see about 16 faces at once, and there's 76 people on here right now. So Addison, can you turn your mic on and say hi?
There she is. You're welcome. Our next 6th grade Student of the Year is Carter St. Louis. It is both an honor and a privilege for the Hills North Wadsworth team to recognize Carter St. Louis as our Student of the Year. Carter is an exceptional young lady. She arrives at school each day eager to learn. She is conscientious, responsible, and hardworking. Carter is a great time manager and focuses on completing quality work. She's kind and compassionate, a friend to all, and she never hesitates to lend a helping hand when needed. Carter is always open to suggestions for improvement and quickly implements them into her growth as a learner. Both within the traditional classroom setting and the new adventures of online learning, Carter excels in all academic areas and is a role model for others to emulate. We feel fortunate to have had Carter as a member of our team this year. Her love of learning has made her a pleasure to teach. We admire her work ethic, integrity, and exemplary character. Congratulations on an incredible year, Carter. Carter, congratulations. Want to give us a wave? I know.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
The next 6th grade winner is Adeline Wood. Addie is the kind of student that makes teaching a delight. She works hard and always gives her best effort, attention, and energy to the task at hand. Whether she's working on her own or collaborating with her classmates, Addie invests herself with enthusiasm and a desire to excel. Addie shows positivity, kindness, and respect when working with others. She is a positive role model and a great resource for her classmates, always open to new ideas or ready to lend a helping hand. Addie is a very bright and successful student, but more than that, she has the right attitude about learning. She's conscientious in her work habits and diligent in her preparations for learning. She arrives to class with all of her materials, with her work completed and ready to learn. It is evident to anyone who works with Addie that she cares about doing her best. Addie receives instruction and guidance from her teachers very well. She openly accepts constructive suggestions for improvement and ready applies them to her learning. She is highly respected by her teachers and her peers. It is our pleasure to announce that Addie Wood is our Student of the Year. She is the kind of excellent student whose attitude, habits, kindness, and drive make her a positive role model to her classmates and a delightful student all around. Congratulations, Adeline.
Hi.
All right, we're going to move on to 7th grade. Team 7-1 is proud to recognize Liam Carlin as Student of the Year for 2019-20. There are so many wonderful things to say about Liam, it is hard to know where to begin. Liam is an outstanding student who has an excellent work ethic. All of his teachers agree he puts 110% effort into everything he does. His work is meticulous as he holds himself to the highest possible standard. He's consistently focused and driven, and many times it is this wonderful energy that propels the entire class forward during a lesson. Liam is an amazing role model for his peers. His academic record is excellent, but it is positive attitude and extraordinary kindness to everyone around him that really makes him stand out. Liam has an innate social intelligence that is unique to someone of his age. Liam is extremely dedicated to improving his academics and helping his peers, but he's also dedicated to his extracurricular activities as well. For example, Liam is as dedicated to wrestling as he is to anything else for which he is responsible. The dedication Liam has given both to his schoolwork and to his sport truly make him the quintessential student athlete. Teachers will really miss having Liam in their classes come September, not just because he's an outstanding student and role model, but more so because he's just an outstanding person. Congratulations, Liam.
Hi, thank you.
You're welcome. Grade 7 Student of the Year, Catherine Groth. Throughout the school year, Catherine has consistently demonstrated her academic excellence as well as her incredible work ethic. Catherine's maturity, kindness, and willingness to help others are all traits that make her an exceptional student and person. She is willing to ask questions that take classroom discussions to new heights and enhance the learning experience for all students. Catherine balances her rigorous academic schedule and extracurricular activities flawlessly. Catherine's smile and positive attitude brighten every classroom she enters. Congratulations, Catherine.
Hi, thank you.
You're welcome, honey. All right, on to 8th grade. Our eighth grade winners of Student of the Year were also presented an award at our recognition ceremony that we had on June 10th for our 8th graders. But I'm very proud to introduce and share their accomplishments one more time while I still have them. 8th grade Student of the Year, Chad Lewandowski. Chad is the epitome of well-rounded. He is academically excellent, but he excels in athletics. Yet that is not all. Chad is also kind, considerate, and mature. When we talk about the Burnt Hills Way, Chad's disposition is what we mean. He is humble, hardworking, driven, and not selfishly concerned about only his growth, but that of his friends and classmates alike. Congratulations, Chad Lewandowski.
Hi, thank you.
You're welcome. And finally, our 8th grade Student of the Year, Ellie Adone. Few students have the work ethic of Ellie. She is conscientious and works hard to pursue excellence in her studies. Ellie is one of the kindest, most compassionate students I know. She leads by example and always puts others first. Ellie is an absolute wonderful student. She is one of the most ambitious writers in the class, and her thoughts and contributions have made the class better on every level. She's always striving to learn and grow, and with that attitude, she will go very far. Congratulations, Ellie Adone.
Hi, and thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Well, thank you for your time. I would like to introduce the high school principal, Mr. Tim Brunson.
Thank you, Mrs. Wolf. Thank you, parents. Thank you, students, teachers, administrators, and most importantly, our students and our retirees who are being honored here tonight. I'd like to start by recognizing our ninth grade students for their academic achievement. In their short time here at the high school, these students have set the bar high. The expectations for their future will continue to increase. I look forward to announcing these names for years to come. Our ninth grade students: Ella Neary, Xingyu Pan, Becky Pan, Madeline Connolly, Alyssa Blyle, and Noah DiCaprio. Congratulations to our freshman students. Our 10th grade students, our sophomores. These students have excelled on the volleyball court, on the dance floor, behind the camera as potential filmmakers and videographers, and with our drama club. They're involved in science research, AP courses, and some of our most challenging electives already. Congratulations tonight to Jenna Vaughn, Caitlin Hopper, Emily McDonald, Abigail Miller, and Declan Nerney. Congratulations to our sophomore 10th grade students. Our outstanding junior students. They set the bar high inside and outside of the classroom. They're involved in volleyball, upper level electives. These are the students who push themselves not only through the year, but especially during this time of remote online learning. They're leaders, scholars, athletes, and well-rounded students. Congratulations tonight to Cedric Siriani, Haley Deming, Madeline Busa, Jenna Kosnick, and Juliet Hull. Congratulations to our juniors. Our seniors tonight. Many of our seniors were recognized in our Honors Night program, and I'm looking forward to Friday when they get to cross the stage and receive their diploma. This is the culmination of their high school career. They've excelled inside, outside of the classroom. They're hardworking, diligent, positive examples for our students to follow. Our first senior, William Forlano, will be attending Ithaca College in the fall. Congratulations to William. Our second senior tonight also happens to be our class president. He will attend Princeton in the fall. Congratulations to Mikhail Troyan. Our third senior tonight, Rebecca Landry. She will attend Colgate University in the fall. Congratulations to Rebecca. Our fourth senior, the class of 2020 salutatorian. He will attend Amherst College in the fall. Congratulations to David Metacarpa. And our final senior tonight, the class of 2020 valedictorian, featured tonight, if you watch the news on Channel 13. He will attend SUNY Binghamton in the fall. Congratulations to Dylan Aldrich. Thank you to all the students recognized here tonight for their outstanding achievement. Thank you to the parents at home for your continued support, particularly over the last few months. As I said, I'm looking forward to recognizing the seniors again this week. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Mr. Brunson, and thank you to all of our principals. And of course, one more big congratulations to all of our students. I think Mr. Brunson hit it on the head. I have a feeling we're going to be hearing some of those names for quite a few years. And for all of our seniors, you've got some pretty impressive colleges and universities you'll be attending there. So I know you've done some great things here at Burn Hills, but listening to that list, I think that the best might be ahead for you. So congratulations. Good luck. I look forward to seeing all of you on Friday as well. And yes, thank you, Mrs. Wolf. One more round of applause for all of our students. With that, I'd like to introduce Patrick McGrath, Sharon McTighe, Chris Abadou, and Dave Collins. They are going to be honoring all of our retirees tonight, representing 500. I mean, that's amazing to see. I mean, try saying it. 573 collective years of service to this great district. So I can't even get the words out. Congratulations to all of you on those years and your service here. And with that, Dr. McGrath, the floor is yours, sir.
All right, thank you, Patrick. So we're going to start off and just recognize all of you who are here with us on the call, and some people I know can't be here, but we do want to mention each of the people who we're really going to miss, and we're going to do it in order of years of service. So as we build up, we'll see. You can start to guess. Everyone, look around at all the squares on here and see who they think has put the longest amount of service here. And there's a lot of people with a lot of years. So we really appreciate that. I'm going to start out just by recognizing a gentleman that we see a lot here at the high school because he works a lot in the second shift. And when we have all kinds of games and events and ceremonies and assemblies and activities in the evenings, Butch Dahlgren is always around working hard and always with a smile on his face and a friendly hello. Butch is known for being very dependable, very hardworking. And we just want to thank him for 11 years of service to BHBL. Thank you, Butch. And if you're here, guys, or everyone, as we recognize you, feel free to click your mic on and say hi. But if you're shy or don't want to, that's okay too. But we'll pause and give you a chance, and I'll have Sharon jump on now here for our next honoree. You there, Sharon?
Oh, sorry about that. Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Hi. I knew I saw your name up there.
Yep, absolutely. Sorry. I do that probably 4 times a day, forgetting to put the mic on. So good evening, everyone. It's my honor to read the write-ups for various teaching assistants, and you'll see as we go along a fantastic social worker of ours who we're honoring tonight for retirees. So we're going to start with Ruth Ann Dano. Ruth Ann has been a teaching assistant at BHBL High School since 2008. During her time here, she began working with Chip Button until his retirement in 2010, and continuing in this position with Shannon Rabbit for the past 10 years. Ruth Ann has been an amazing part of the special education department, always willing to lend a hand no matter the circumstances. She's worked with so many students while assisting in general education classes as well as in resource, and it's evident that she has made a real difference in so many of them. She also spent countless hours tutoring students after school to help them succeed in passing their Regents exams. While Ruth Ann worked with Chip, she took an opportunity to become a track and field assistant coach. This was something she loved, and she was committed to the athletes on and off the track. On any given AAP during winter track and field season, our classroom would be packed with members of the team. All would come in with smiles on their face and a good holler, "Dano!" They truly just enjoyed her company, as we all did. BHBL High School is losing one of its best, and her kindness and sense of humor will be greatly missed, especially within our special education department. We wish Ruth Ann the best of luck in her retirement, and we hope she will return to visit all of us when she and Biff are not traveling across the country or skiing the slopes. Next, we have Sherry DeMarco. Sherry was a teaching assistant at Pashley Elementary. Sherry DeMarco served the children of the Burnt Hills Balsam Lake Central School District for the past 14 years as a valued, devoted, and well-respected teaching assistant at Pashley Elementary School. The majority of those years were spent working with children in the Comprehensive Developmental Skills, or commonly known CDS program. The last 4 months of her career were spent supporting students from the SOAR program at Pashley in the general education setting. Sherry has an incredible work ethic. She was always interested in learning something new to enhance her already solid base and knowledge. Sherry would voluntarily work beyond the hours of her workday if it meant supporting students more effectively. She was conscientious, caring, energetic, well-focused, knowledgeable, and supportive individual to students and colleagues alike. Sherry has a natural ability to work with children. She took the time to get to know them, built a rapport quickly, and worked with determination to ensure that each student performed at his or her best. Sherry fostered student independence and respect when supporting children with their academic, social, and behavioral needs. She has an innate ability to understand when to provide assistance and when to allow students to be independent, a quality that is difficult to replicate. Sherry is a wonderful person with an incredible personality. She always came to work with a positive attitude, a smile, and ready to work with students. She is compassionate, enjoyed humor, and could always find the silver lining in every situation. Her calm demeanor and enthusiasm for working with children and being a respected colleague add to some of her amazing qualities. Sherry's retirement, although well-deserved, is bittersweet for the children and staff at Pashley. As Sherry embarks on the next chapter of her life, which includes traveling to visit family, spending time with her husband, Nick, her daughters, Joelle and Nicole, and of course, her beautiful granddaughters, Madeline and Charlotte, we wish her well. Sherry will be greatly missed at Pashley. Mary Jane Bombach, teaching assistant at Stevens Elementary. Mary Jane Bombach has been an amazing teaching assistant for the past 15 years. She loves her students so much and they love her. She has often been assigned to work with students who have more significant learning, emotional, and behavioral challenges. As she works with students, she is warm, skilled, and patient. When Mary Jane is working with students, her colleagues and principal are confident that she will do whatever it takes to help them be successful. Mary Jane stands up for what she believes in and strongly advocates for her students. The teachers she works with consider her their right hand, as she is loyal, dependable, highly effective team player. She's such a great team player that she was assigned to the coveted gym duty position with 400 students in the gymnasium at the end of each day. I believe this is Dr. Evans' report. She will really miss this duty when she retires. That not. Mary Jane is looking forward to continuing to work at the Ballston Town Library. We wish her all the best in her retirement and will greatly miss her.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Congratulations, Mary Jane.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Again, just wanted to take a quick minute to congratulate our students. It's nice to see the principals beaming with pride as they talk about some exceptional young men and women who have accomplished a lot in a tough year. Good to see your faces too on the screen and accepting those awards. So well done. It's my pleasure to speak about Lori Litwa, and I actually just met Lori this year. She was very welcoming, welcomed me into her classroom as I began the MTSS committee to get an idea of reading in RTI. And I can certainly understand this write-up, and I'm going to read some things that our colleagues and her administrators wrote about her. Lori has been a leader both in the district reading and RTI department and as a building leader at Stevens Elementary. She's helped lead initiatives at Stevens, including the Breakfast Club, and can always be counted on to step up and voluntarily take on additional responsibilities, even at a moment's notice. She epitomizes what it means to be a team player. As one of the most experienced reading teachers in the district and at Stevens, we have counted on her for her years of experience, her leadership, guidance, and expertise. Colleagues often seek Lori's advice on the best approach to address a student who is struggling in the area of reading. Where she truly shines is when working with her students. Her quiet, kind demeanor puts the students at ease, and her positivity and encouraging words keep students working at their best. In her 17 years, she has helped so many students learn. She has helped every student that she has worked with to thrive. Her positive impact on students and colleagues will be sorely missed. We hope she enjoys her retirement and the extra time she will have with her husband and her 2 children. You will be sorely missed at Stevens. Congratulations, Lori.
So, Mr. Ahern, I know you're there. Can you say hi so we can see your face on the screen?
Hello there. Thank you. Yes.
Hello there. Hi. I just wanted to get a chance to say, Kevin and I joked a bit. He surprised us at the end of the year, at the last minute, decided that this was the year he was going to retire. And I was disappointed because my son Caleb is headed to 7th grade, and there was a pretty good chance that he would have had Kevin for social studies. And I always enjoyed just visiting and talking with Kevin about all different things. And we share a commonality because he grew up on Cook Road on the street where I live now. So I love talking to he and his sister Arlene about the days up there on Cook Road. So congratulations, Kevin. Most people know that Kevin's retiring from 7th grade social studies teaching at the middle school. He's been a presence in the building as a mentor, as a team leader, a building council representative. He's organized students who volunteer placing flags on gravestones of our veterans, and he's active in local and state Lyme awareness. Kevin is definitely, anyone who knows Kevin knows he's one of the funniest people you'll meet. He brings smiles to kids. He brings smiles to his colleagues. And we know that he's an advocate for every kid that comes into his classroom. His classroom is a place of smiles and learning and laughter. He's a wonderful teacher who's brought history to life for many, many students in his classroom. His leadership, his talent, and his ability to reach and inspire his students will be very much missed. And we will miss you, Kevin. Congratulations.
Thank you, Patrick and Colleen and everyone else, and I appreciate the kind words. Thank you very much, and I do miss Cook Road.
Okay, I'm up next. Bonnie Durst. Bonnie Durst is a teaching assistant at the high school. Bonnie has devoted the past 20 years to working with students with disabilities at BHBL High School. Her commitment to supporting her students and team members has been an incredible asset to the high school special services department. Bonnie has demonstrated a command of the content areas in her students' classes to ensure that she could maximize her effectiveness in supporting them. She has worked hard to promote her students' independence and provide them with the tools and resources necessary to be successful throughout their high school careers. Bonnie often encouraged her students to take an active role in decision-making that impacted them. Bonnie went out of her way to make sure students felt special. It wasn't uncommon to hear Bonnie ask students what their favorite snack was and then picked it up for them. Bonnie is well liked by teachers and is respected for her dedication, initiative, and flexibility. She has a great sense of humor and always approaches challenges with a positive can-do attitude. Bonnie will be very missed by her team at the high school as she leaves big shoes to fill. She is wished all the best in her retirement, where she can enjoy more time with her husband, Dean, and growing family. Next, we have Carolyn Robeson, Pashley teaching assistant. Carolyn has been a friendly face at Pashley for many years. Carolyn is one of the most positive people you could ever meet. In her position as a teacher's assistant, she held many different roles and worked with many of our students. She has been kind and patient and has been passionate about reaching out to our polar bears who have been most in need. As a parent, she taught her own children how to be compassionate toward others, having them participate in service projects that benefited our polar bears. Carolyn went above and beyond to help students feel positive and confident about themselves. She has had a special way of quietly cheering students on and celebrating their achievements and successes with them. She always has a warm smile for you and true emotion behind her "Hello, how are you?" She does her job with pride. She puts a smile on your face every time you think of her. She is the true definition of kindness. Her genuine regard for the Pashley children is admirable. Her sense of humor is contagious. She will be missed by all at Pashley.
That's pretty nice.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. So we're in the 20, if you notice on the screen, we're in the 20-year range here. So people who've worked for us and served the Burn Hills district and helped and taught and supported the kids of our district for 20 years, for 2 decades. It's amazing. And I'm going to move on to another person with 20 years of time here at the district. It's Mrs. Russell, Karen Russell. Is Karen on the call? I didn't see her name on the list, but there were a couple of unknowns. So Karen and I started teaching together a long time ago in a different district and reconnected here at Burn Hills. 20 years of teaching elementary and high school orchestra and string lessons, revamped the high school music in our lives course to become music technology and you. Karen started the high school chamber strings orchestra and numerous successful performances with the high school orchestra at state and national festivals and competitions. She mentored and prepared countless student musicians for performance solo festivals and she was a string adjudicator in the New York State School Music Association, an avid volunteer at Spartan football games, a big-time dog lover. Karen always made her students feel highly cared for and capable, and honestly, she made her colleagues feel highly capable and cared for. You couldn't pass Karen in the hallway without getting a hug and getting a big smile and a hello. Karen and I also shared, in addition to sharing our first our job in the same place, we share the same birthday. So that's always kind of neat when you have the people that you know around that share your birthday. And we will miss her upbeat personality. And so all the best to Karen, and hopefully she'll get a chance to see this on video. So Karen had 20 years of service. And now Chris is on the line, I believe.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Superintendent McGrath. It is my pleasure to speak a little bit about Denise Goodell. I had the pleasure of meeting Denise on several occasions, but I'm going to share some words from those that knew her best, those that worked with her in the transportation department. Denise has been a monitor for BHBL for many years. She's at the top of our seniority list by years of service, but she also topped the list of BHBL team members when it came to dedication to our students. Denise was devoted to and loved to work with our students that needed some accommodations during their bus rides to and from school. She was and continues to be an absolute pleasure to work with. We will certainly miss her next year. So Denise, if you're here, give a little wave. We wish you well in retirement.
And I'm not sure if Greg is here, Greg Rogers, but Greg has 23, almost 24 years of service to the district. When he retired, he worked at Pashley most recently, and the Pashley staff and children enjoyed Greg's friendly demeanor. And Mrs. Bonaccio joked that there wasn't a day that he walked the halls of Pashley without a smile on his face. And sometimes when you're a custodian in elementary school during flu season or tough times, that can be a tough thing. And Greg always had a smile, always loved working with the kids, and the kids loved to interact with him in the lunchroom, that he was a kind and genuine person, and he always had regard for others. So we've missed him already, and he's proven to be big shoes to fill at Pashley. We wish him a happy and healthy retirement. We thank him for his 23, almost 24 years of service, and hope that he continues to enjoy his camp with his family.
Okay, I have the pleasure of sharing information with you about Kathy Yando, social worker at Stevens Elementary. Kathy has been an exemplary social worker at Stevens Elementary in our district for the past 23 years. Kathy makes incredible bonds with students, especially those struggling emotionally or behaviorally. Quite simply, she is their safe place. They seek her out throughout the day when they need guidance, encouragement, or a hug. Staff members affectionately call her the student whisperer because she de-escalates and soothes students when they are experiencing their most challenging behavioral moments. She is like the resident social worker and therapist for adults as well. She's our safe place too. We too seek Kathy out to talk through challenges with students and families, to seek advice on school matters, and for guidance on life situations having nothing to do with school. For us, Kathy's colleagues share, she is respected, trusted colleague and friend. Kathy has had a significant impact on our district as she served on countless committees, been an effective, active member for the BHBL Teachers Association, and has served as a mentor and clinical supervisor for her social worker colleagues. Kathy received the Founders Day Award just this year in 2020. Words cannot express our appreciation and admiration for Kathy. We wish Kathy a life filled with health, happiness, and great times with her husband, children, and her friends that she loves so much. Thank you for all of your years of service, Kathy. Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate those kind words.
Hi, Kathy. Congratulations. And Star is here as well. Can you say hi, Star? We can see you on this.
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
Good. Awesome.
Congratulations. Good to see you. I wanted to just Star, I don't know if Star even remembers, but way back at the beginning when I first came here, I had a chance. I was just wandering around the buildings and visiting, and she invited me into her classroom and to observe and sit in the back, and just kind of was a friendly face and a nice, when you first come and you don't know anyone, to have someone go out of their way, it meant a lot to me. Star's been with us for 24 years in Burnt Hills. Prior to teaching, she worked at General Electric as a graphic artist. She's been teaching for 20 years across all 3 elementary buildings and at O'Rourke. She loved to start her mornings doing art club with the Pashley children. She always gave Pashley children the opportunity to shine by proudly displaying their artwork in the halls. And she was often displayed artwork at the Saratoga County Fair as well in the summer. And she did that on her own time to spread the work that our kids did. She loves to spend time with her family and visit her daughter down in the city. She's crazy about her 2 dogs. And she will have more time to travel, quilt, and go to a book club with her friends. And I know we talked the other day, she'll be enjoying her retirement, splitting time between up here in the great Northeast and down in South Carolina. So, Star, thank you for all your service to the district, and we will miss you a lot. So thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you for those kind words, and thank you for everyone for attending. It's been an honor to serve with you guys, and I'm just so happy to be part of Pashley, and once a polar bear, always a polar bear. Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Thanks, Star. Congratulations. I wanted to honor B site. B was our food service, our head of food service at Charlton Heights for a long time. I knew her as my son Caleb went through Charlton Heights, and she ran things extremely well up at Charlton Heights in the kitchen there. And there wasn't an opportunity when I was there that I went by that she didn't bring me in and show me a piece of equipment that needed to be replaced, or some new piece of equipment that she had gotten and she was so proud of. She really took pride in the work that she did. She ran a tight ship. Great attention to detail, great skills, paperwork skills, order, menu planning, production records. I would remember getting a bill. I once remember getting a bill for 23 cents that I owed in my account for Caleb when he was there, just to make sure that the books were kept nice and tight. She was all about the students, and she loved working the elementary in the elementary school. She served 24 years here at Burnt Hill, so we appreciate she retired earlier in the year, but we wanted to recognize her tonight. And now, I'm going to steal a quick thing to say. Appreciate. I mentioned before I turn it over to you, Chris, because I know the things that Chris will say, because he and I feel the same way about our next honoree, Bob Colleen. Bob was the guy who just went out of his way, just like Star made me feel when I first came on board. Bob did the same thing, and took me on a tour all around the district, picked up a vehicle, drove me around, showed us everything that you'd want to know around Burnt Hills. He's a true gentleman, and I know Chris has some things to say, but I just wanted to also thank and congratulate Bob.
Yeah, very good. You stole a little bit of my thunder, Superintendent McGrath, but I still have a few things to say about Bob Colleen and to congratulate him on his retirement. When thinking of Bob Colleen, and whenever you spend any time here in BHBL, you'll always inevitably hear the expression about those that have worked here or continue to work here that bleed maroon. Bob Colleen and his family have been longtime residents of the school district, and Bob truly exhibits all the qualities that would lead him to be considered among some of the truest Spartans in our history. He is most certainly dedicated to keeping our school buses safe and in good working order for our students. He's dedicated to this community and most especially to the Burnt Hills Way. When I first came on board here in BHBL in 2012, as Superintendent McGrath indicated, I relocated here from Central New York, and Bob saw it as his personal responsibility to take me on a personal tour of the community, and also to make sure I had a list of all the reputable tradespeople I could call upon if I needed my car serviced, my lawnmower repaired, my house painted, or if I needed any carpentry work done. It was my plan to show you that list here tonight, but my wife will not let it out of her hands because she still uses it whenever she needs something for our house. So it's at home in a safe place there. So Bob's welcoming of me to Burnt Hills Ballston Lake is something I will not soon forget if I ever forget it at all. And while we all wish him the very best of retirements, it goes without saying that he will truly be missed here. So we wish you well, Bob. And just so everybody knows, Bob does not do the internet thing. So even though he can't see this here tonight, hopefully at some point we'll send him a video recording of it so he can see that. We'll miss you, Bob. Have a great retirement. And with that, I'd also like to recognize another long-term member of our transportation department, Ray Baker. Ray Baker has been in the other side of the transportation department. As opposed to keeping the buses in good working order, he's driven them safely on the road for 27 years. He is pretty much the same bus route for all of those 27 years. And if you don't know this, in Burnt Hills Ballston Lake, all of our bus routes are named after an object. His route was or a creature, a panda bus, something along those lines. He had the pencil bus for pretty much his whole career. His colleagues said that he acted like a true father figure and loved his students. He was an Army veteran, which he wore very much with pride, even incorporating that into his many Halloween costumes. He is certainly a BHBL treasure. We will miss him here next year, but I am sure all students will miss him even more. So I want to extend the congratulations of myself and the members of the BHBL Transportation Department and congratulating Ray for his well-deserved retirement. Congratulations, Ray. Because this next one is to me as well, I believe, correct?
Yep. Sorry about that. There you go.
No. All right. To continue our trend with the transportation department, man, out of those years that Mr. Ziegler indicated earlier tonight, almost 100 of them, or more than 100 of them, are coming for our transportation department with some of those years of service. So the next person is Greg Butkus, who was our auto mechanic supervisor for many years here in Burnt Hills, Ballston Lake. Greg is certainly passionate about the district school buses. He was always very dedicated in ensuring a safe transportation system for our students. He was instrumental in working with Joe Zub and others to create a bus replacement system that properly met the needs of our students to make sure they were always in a bus that was well maintained and in good working order. Students for years to come will continue to enjoy rides to school in buses that are among the most mechanically sound in the state of New York due to Greg's efforts and leadership of his department. The exemplary record the Department of Transportation has with their inspections of our buses every year, this year over 99%, which is incredibly commendable and one of the highest in the area, was very much due to Greg's leadership of an outstanding team of mechanics over the years. We thank him for his service and wish him very well in retirement. And Greg, if you're here, thank you from all of us.
As you can see, we're into the 30-year mark of service here with these honorees, and just amazing. Our next honoree is Wanda Staines, who's been a cleaner at Stevens for a long time, known as just a hardworking, friendly, and kind person. We know that Wanda was in recently, and she's not feeling real well, and we thank her for her service. She couldn't be with us tonight, but we want her to know we're thinking of her. We wish her well and her family well in their retirement, and thank you for an amazing 30 years of service to the district.
All right, I'm on. I saw Donna is on. I saw her picture, so Donna can wave and come to our screen if that's possible.
Hi.
Hi, Donna.
Hi.
Hi. Again, it's really an honor when you get to speak about somebody that you really respect. In my 4 years in the classroom at the high school, many times late in the afternoon, I'd wander down and ask for advice and support, and Donna would have it. That's so solution focused, so willing to support and not enable the students that she worked with and cared so much about. And also give great advice to the teachers and other adults on how to handle students, just knowing her students so well, and really knowing how to get to the crux of the issue and solve it. And here's what people said. Donna is a graduate of BHBL and a forever Spartan. Prior to working as a school counselor, she worked as an English teacher at Penn Yan High School, began her career as a guidance counselor at BHBL in 1990. During her time, she has served as an advocate for both students and teachers. She's been a strong voice in both of their corners, working to support teachers to help students find the greatest success. In her role as a counselor, Donna has touched the lives of many BHBL families. She was a longtime SAT testing coordinator at BHBL, assisting thousands of students with this process. She will be missed by our families, her colleagues, and the BHBL community. Donna loves spending time with her husband and 3 children and would like to retire to Oak Island in North Carolina. And I wish her the absolute best in retirement. Donna, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
So also in that 31 years of service to the district is our 6th grade middle school teacher, Lisa Fabreo. And I don't think Lisa's, I looked on the list. Is Lisa here? Just honored to congratulate Lisa and thank her for her service as a sixth grade teacher, as an elementary teacher. She was a fourth grade teacher prior to the middle school. She's a leader in the middle school building. She was one of the inaugural BTCs, the building technology coordinators in the middle school. She was a building council member. And under her technology leadership, the first 5 21st century classrooms were outfitted. And she was one of the people that helped to spec out the first of the models that have evolved into what we're hoping will be every single one of our classrooms within the next year and a half or 2 years. Lisa is a dedicated teacher who often had kids in her classroom after school and during her free time. Kids naturally gravitate to Lisa, and she's a kind and funny person. She shared her personality with her kids, and they loved that, and they loved her because of it. She's a master teacher, someone who brought out the best of kids and the best of everyone around her. She's an inspiration to the staff and an advocate for students, whether they're 11 or 17. They come back to see her and have often referred to her as their favorite teacher. So congratulations, Lisa, and all the best in your retirement.
All right, I think we're at the tail end here with some truly impressive years of service. I'm not sure who I'm going to introduce this fall when it comes to that. My list is growing shorter when I recognize all of our staff members that have been here for quite some time. It's my privilege to talk about Phyllis Gavin, who was a cleaner here for over 32 years. I had the privilege of getting the opportunity to know Phyllis on many over the years and had many different positive interactions with her. She's also someone that was always ready, willing, and able to give you a hug. However, I'd be remiss if I didn't share the words of some of those that knew her the very best. The sentences below are from the Pashley principal. Pashley was very fortunate to have Phyllis join our family. She immediately fit in. Phyllis would do anything for our staff and students. She has a very strong work ethic and always took the greatest pride in her work. The Pashley children loved her. If you're having a tough day, Phyllis was always there to make you smile. Her positive attitude was truly contagious. Phyllis had a way with making everyone feel special, which is truly a remarkable quality and very, very much needed in our school settings. Her presence at Pashley will be very much missed. We wish her the best of luck and very much happiness. So congratulations, Phyllis, on your 32 years of service here at Burn Hills Ballston Lake, and congratulations on a well-deserved retirement.
Okay, I don't think Paul's on the line either, but Paul has 33 years of service, 32 years and 8 months. So we'll give him 33 years of service to the district. I don't know if retirement works that way, but we will. We'll recognize 33 years. He has much to be proud of during that career as a custodian in BHBL. Paul served as the head custodian at Stevens School for most of his career. He treated Stevens School like it was his own home. He took great pride in keeping the building and grounds safe and clean for students and staff and families. Paul's forged many strong relationships with staff at Stevens and throughout the district. His favorite topics of discussion include his family and snowmobiling and his boat. And many times, if you stop and talk to Paul, he wants to talk about his camp. He wants to talk about Sacandaga. He wants to talk about all his adventures up that way. And I said to him, pretty sure when I dropped him a card that he was not going to miss the commute because he had quite a commute every day to get down to Stevens from up on the other side of Sacandaga. So his career also spanned the high school, and he's back at the high school now to finish up his career. And he's had 3 different principals while he was at Stevens, so he worked with a lot of different principals. And one of the things that Dan wanted me to share was a memorable moment where he had they had at Stevens a squirt gun day where the students could bring squirt guns. What the kids didn't know is that the teachers had them too. What the teachers didn't know is that Paul had a water fire extinguisher, and he made the Gazette local section doing this. So he is a longtime employee here in the district, and we appreciate all the service that Paul has given us, always willing to help and offer guidance, and he will be missed. So congratulations to Paul McCullough.
Now I get to speak on behalf of Wendy Corrigan, and I did see Wendy is online. If you could say hi and come to the forefront if you don't mind.
Hello, everyone.
So Patrick and Chris talked about people who were some of the first to meet them. Wendy was my hallmate in the old art space before the new art space got moved. And then I think she tried to get away from me, moved to the new art space, but unfortunately they parked her across from tech, which I supervised. So I followed her down that way and would get to see Wendy. One of the things I always remember is just how late into the night she and her colleagues worked, I'd be walking out late, and she and her colleagues would be walking out late as well. But so welcoming, and really helped me in my first year teaching at the HBL up in the old corridor. So thank you to that. And here's what her colleagues and administrators said. Teaching art at the high school since 1986, Wendy has taught many art classes, including ceramic, sculpture, printmaking, studio art, and mixed media, before focusing more on two-dimensional art classes, including drawing in watercolor and drawing in acrylic portfolio, advanced painting, and the Sage College Credit Advanced Drawing course. Art Club co-advisor for many of her years, Wendy promoted the PTSA Art Contest scholarship and community opportunities to her students regularly. She has provided guidance, understanding, and support to many senior art students making decisions about their creative careers. She regularly promoted the artwork of her students and the arts in general with student displays and art shows. She helped design and organize the annual Arts Fest, organized visiting artists to collaborate with students on a tile mural, and one celebrating the history of Burn Hills, student murals throughout the high school, and scheduled art college representatives to visit her classes. Wendy's experience and knowledge of our school's practices and decision-making has been invaluable. She has served on multiple school committees, block scheduling, health and safety, distance learning, superintendent interview committees, and 2 Teachers Association negotiation teams. She's a PTA Founders Day Award winner this year, always prepared, super organized, and keeper of many facts. Congratulations to Wendy.
Thank you very, very much. Those are really kind words. And it's been an honor and a privilege to spend my career at Burn Hills, teaching art, the best job in the world. And I'll miss you all. And thank you. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you, Wendy. We're going to miss you and wish you all the best. Stay in
Thank you.
touch.
I'll do that.
And so Wendy has 33 years, and on our screen it says Mary has 33 years. I have in my notes that Mary has just about 34 years of service to the district. Mary, you're here, right?
I am. Thank you. Yeah, just about 34.
Yeah. Hi, Mary.
Hi.
So congratulations on your retirement. You're at the top of the list here. So Mary was my son's teacher at one point in math, and just a great person at Charlton Heights. She was kind of like, you just always were going to smile, and you're always going to feel that somebody really cared about what was going on in your life when you walked by Mary's room. Mary, you probably do it by reflex, but you just always ask about the kids, ask about the family, and I know how important your family is to you and Joe, and just it's just been a pleasure to know you as a professional, but also as a parent, and see how you were as my son's teacher. So I'll read a few things that were written about you, and just to kind of commemorate some of the things. I know this isn't really the way all you guys pictured, your retirement dinners. It does meet getting roasted though, like sometimes I know that some of the high school teachers got roasted a little bit by Mr. Brunson out on the football field on the last day of school. So we aren't doing any of that, but we did go up to Mary's house and have a big parade on a Saturday morning a couple weeks back. The Charlton Constable led the way with the lights and sirens blaring, and most of Charlton Heights followed behind. So that was nice. And I know a lot of those kind of things happen, but to everybody who's on the call, you guys deserve a bigger party than this, but we are glad that we're able to take some time and document this. And honestly, this is part of an official board meeting. So this is in the records and in the annals of time for Burnt Hills that we'll remember and the things that are said. So thank you to everybody. Everyone's faces are on the screen now. All the retirees I can see, you guys are all on my screen anyway, all up in the top. So congratulations to everybody. Mary was a health CCR for many years. She was a master mentor to many teachers in the building. And she was actually Tim Sinnenberg, Mr. Sinnenberg's mentor when he was a teacher, when he first became a teacher at Charlton Heights. So she was also a presenter with Mrs. Berry for the 5th grade mother-daughter evening for adolescent changes, which is a good job to take on, and building council member. We all know she plans all the association welcomes and the Crossroads events, because you'd always get all the reminders and calendar things from Mary, and she just faithfully took care of that stuff. Member of the BHPL Education Foundation, a board member for the Brave Will Foundation, winner of the PTA Founders Day Award in 2006. She basically has been just a veteran that provides so much valuable feedback and guidance and leadership to staff members, and she cares about our families and our community members, and she's just been an awesome public servant. So we'll miss you, Mary. Thank you. I'm glad you guys are my neighbors, so we'll stay in touch. And I'll turn it back over to Patrick Ziegler, to President Ziegler, but congratulations to all the retirees. We're glad you could spend a few minutes with us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. And again, thank you and congratulations to all of you. One of the nicest parts of this event really for me is being someone that really hasn't lived in Burn Hills as long as many of you have, is just getting to hear all the stories, not only the stories of where Kevin Ahern grew up, but of course, how so many of you have had such a positive impact on people who've come into the district. And I can say, looking at some of these names, starting right at the end here with Mrs. Grasso, just the impact that so many of you have had on my family because of the impact you've had on my children and many other families' children over the years. And Mrs. Thomas, you're right there. And I can see you on the right as well. So I know how many of you have had such a really wonderful impact on so many children that have come through this district over the course of 33 years. You will all be missed, and it is genuinely appreciated that you're all able to join us tonight in a slightly less than ideal environment. Although I'm a little confused, Chris, we finally got a new transportation department. It sounds like half the team just went and retired on us. So I don't know if there's something happening over there we should know about. It's an old Indian burial ground or something. I'm not sure. But we're sorry to see so many of you leave, and really appreciate all the fantastic work you all did in some less than ideal conditions there. We've seen the pictures of how you guys had to change bus tires and put buses on lifts. And it just goes to show what the people of this district have done for decades to make this a really special place for our kids. So God bless you all in retirement, and enjoy your time away, and stay in touch. But having said that, before you all leave, we do have a board meeting, of course, coming up tonight. But this year we have 2 board members who will not be coming back with us next year. Now, one of them, of course, is graduating, and we're certainly glad that she is and wish her the best. And we have one board member who's retiring. So if you don't mind, if everyone can stay on for just one more moment here, we'd like to honor them as well. And so I'd like to turn this over to my colleague, Dave Versacki, who is going to speak about our student liaison, Hannah Shell. You with us there, Dave? There you are.
I am here. Thank you very much, Patrick. It is my pleasure to acknowledge Hannah Shell, and not just her service to our Board of Education and representing the student body on the board, but all of her great work that she has done as a student and as a community member throughout her time at Burn Hills. I had the privilege of getting to know Hannah when I think it was, Hannah could correct me, but I think it was 5th grade youth basketball. I knew her dad from before, and her dad and I had an agreement. We would each work with each other's child so that we didn't lose our minds. So I have some fond memories of that time, and it's been an absolute privilege to watch Hannah grow up, to watch the confidence that a young lady has built over time. And, she has had tremendous leadership throughout, and have been a leader to even my daughter throughout volleyball. They've had some tremendous successes and contributions to the community that way. And of course, her and her family's contributions to the community with the Shell Strong Foundation. That has been very impressive to watch. Hannah, over time, has taken a really, I don't want to say come out of a shell, but shown that maturity and growth in a young woman. And I know the board members have really very much appreciated her openness and willing to dialogue with a bunch of adults that sometimes can get a little full of themselves. And have some strong opinions, and I think everybody can laugh. It's okay. We all know it. And so, it's been great to have that student representation and that student view and sharing those insights with the Board of Education. So it is my great pleasure to thank Hannah for her time on the board. Congratulations on graduation, and Hannah will be attending Harvard in the fall. I hope they're going to open. So I hope to hear great stories from her in her future endeavors. So thank you very much. And on another note, thank everybody here tonight. Patrick, you referenced not being a lifelong resident. I am a lifelong resident of the district, more than 50 years. So it is wonderful to see all of you, and I congratulate all of you, and thank you all for your contributions to our wonderful community. So thank you all, and have a great night.
Thanks, Dave. I'm not sure which board members he's talking about that get full of themselves at board meetings and like to hear themselves talk, because that certainly is. Oh, Dave's raising his hand. Well, that's good. He called himself out. You are a good man, Dave. That's why I love working with you.
Hannah, are you here?
I did not see her on the list, so I'm not sure she's here.
Okay.
Well, very good. Thank you for the kind words, Dave, and it really is a pleasure working with this team. Unfortunately, we are losing a member of the team this year, though, as well. And when I came on 4 years ago now, he was the incoming president of the board. And I can tell you how much I learned about being a board member from him, but also just how things worked in this district. You know, there are some things like, say, running a meeting that come fairly naturally to you when you've done it before and done it in other settings. But there are other aspects of serving on a board of education that are so much different than serving in local government or working for elected officials. And I can tell you that Peter Sawyer was one of those people that was a huge, huge help to me, and not just as a board member, but just as a friend. And I can tell you, speaking from our family, Pete didn't realize where we lived, and he was coming around our neighborhood collecting signatures a few years ago for his second run for the Board of Education. He stopped by the house, and I answered. And he actually stayed. He didn't leave. He stayed. He got our signatures. Actually, it's the first time my wife had a few minutes to sit and chat with him. And I can just tell you that to this day, we look back fondly on that time we spent with Pete right there on our front porch. It's just the kind of guy he is. And anyone that knows Peter knows that he exemplifies what it means to be a board member here. In the past 4 years that I've been here, I've been so proud to serve with this team. And you know, we do have some fun, as you hear from Dave, and this administrative team as well. But it's really a source of great pride for me just to have served with these people and to have served all of you. As I look at your pictures here on the screen, it's a very special place, a special district. You're very special people, and Pete Sawyer is foremost among them. And so we're going to miss him, but we also have a resolution here to read on his behalf. So again, if you can all bear with me for just one more moment. I know we're running a few minutes late. I thank you all very much for the time. This is a resolution to honor our Board of Education member, Peter Sawyer. We will be voting on this in the regular board meeting. Whereas Peter has served this community with distinction as a member of the Burnt Hills Ballston Lake Board of Education for the past 6 years, including serving as board president, vice president, finance committee chair, and high school student government organization board liaison, and has also served on numerous district committees, including the Strategic Partnership Committee. And whereas Peter embodies the characteristics of a true public servant, which is evident in his expectation that the education provided to BHBL students be relevant and meaningful, and that the district offer the highest quality education for every single BHBL student at a fair and reasonable cost to our taxpayers. Whereas Peter has proven that he is data-driven, community-oriented, and civic-minded by his steady insistence that the district develop significant metrics to evaluate and gauge the extent to which we are implementing the district's 21st century skills, and to measure the success or effectiveness of each policy, practice, or program we endeavor to undertake in relation to how each helps students to learn and grow, and thus use such outcomes and data as a guide to future decision-making. And whereas Peter brought his intellectual energy and perspectives on higher education to BHBL by passionately supporting and encouraging the district's initiative to build stronger partnerships with higher education institutions and create improved connections to college courses and programs at local community colleges. And whereas Peter's humor, compassion, intelligence, thoughtful leadership skills, and steadfast belief that BHBL educate the whole student beyond the academic aspect will be sorely missed by his BHBL friends and colleagues. It is hereby resolved that the Burnt Hills Ballston Lake Board of Education formally acknowledges its sincere appreciation to Peter Sawyer for his many contributions to the betterment of our school district and to our community. And we will again vote on this shortly in the formal board meeting. I would also let you know, Peter, if you are here, and I believe I did see your face pop up when I first logged on, that thanks to Lisa Morse, this is also going to be submitted to NYSBA in mid-July, and you will be nominated for a Service Leadership and Recognition Award through the State School Board Association for your time, your efforts, your leadership, and all you've done for this district and for your fellow board members on the Board of Education. So if you're here, Dr. Sawyer, congratulations, and thanks for all you've done, bud. We're going to miss you.
Patrick, thank you very much for this. And I want to thank all of you in the district. We have a tremendous school district. We have tremendous staff, and it's fun because I know a lot of the staff that are going on to retirement. But I think what's really interesting about our district is there's so much leadership. There's leadership at the top, there's leadership at the middle, and there's leadership at the bottom. Everybody participates, everybody leads, everybody takes on responsibilities and does their very best. So I think we can all be very proud of our school, proud of our students, and proud of our staff. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to serve for the past 6 years. I've really enjoyed it. I've learned an awful lot. So thank you.
Thank you, Pete. You know, the other thing I love about him is that those nights when we're going till 10, 11, 12 o'clock, and I start getting a little tired and fading off there at the meeting after I haven't finished off my coffee, Pete was always there to nudge me and make sure the motions were going the right way and keep us in order. He was sort of our parliamentarian there on the board. So he kept things light, but he also kept us on point. And we're going to miss you. So this is his last meeting coming up in just a few minutes. And as we are now at 10 after 8, I think now is as good a time as any to thank all of you one more time for joining us. I really wish we could be doing this all in person. I know we have some huggers here in the group. Dr. McGrath mentioned Karen Russell, and don't I know it? And I wish I could be giving her a big hug and congratulating her tonight. But a virtual hug and thank you to all of you that are here with us. And if you haven't had enough for the night, feel free to stay on with us for our Board of Education meeting. But if you drop off, have a wonderful evening. The weather's nice. The next week will be nice. So enjoy it. Enjoy your retirement and keep in touch with all of us. Be well.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you all.
Bye, everybody. Congratulations.
Bye. Congratulations.
Have a great night.
Good night. Congratulations, everyone.
Bye, Colleen. Thank you.
Good night.
Congratulations.
Bye.
Thank you. Congrats to our students as well. I see some of you still signing off. Great job. Congratulations. Keep reading this summer. There's Dr. Evans. I've seen you come up. Dr. Evans just dropped off. He had a few nice notes there in the chat box as well. Good to see all of you. All right. It looks like we've whittled it down pretty good there, Dr. McGrath. So
yeah, maybe hopefully Tara can capture all those comments and we can send them out to people because there were a lot of comments coming in the chat box. We can send them out to our honorees tonight. And I see Michaela's here with us as well. Hi, Michaela.
Welcome, Michaela.
Hi, everybody.
Good to see you.
welcome aboard. Yep. Thank you, Dr. McGrath, for pointing that out. I actually saw your smiling face there, Michaela, and was going to welcome you on board as soon as I put out one more check to see if Hannah joined us.
Michaela, this is an official promotion for committee chairperson. So you're all set. From committee chairperson, board member. She is our chairperson of the student subcommittee for the reopening committee.
Oh, yes, of course. Of course. Yep. Thank you for that. Very good. Well, thank you to all the board members. Unfortunately, Hannah isn't here to hear it, but for those of you that didn't see the email, and I appreciate our good friend and colleague, Mr. Blowers, making the recommendation that while we usually get our student representative or student liaison a little something to thank them for their work here over the course of the year, we thought maybe a gift certificate might be the best gift for her this year, considering the nature of our meetings. And so in connecting with a couple of my colleagues at the startup I work for, we have a number of Harvard students. The Harvard Co-op apparently is the bookstore and swag shop of choice for Harvard undergrads. So I will deliver that gift certificate at her drive-through graduation ceremony. So thanks all for your thoughts and agreeing to kick in on that as well. And again, Michaela, welcome, and thanks for your service already on the reopening committee. All right. So for our consent agenda this evening, and again, for any of you that don't have it in front of you, it's a bit lengthy. I would like to remind everyone, Dr. McGrath and I had this conversation at our agenda meeting as well. We put everything that seems rather perfunctory, really non-confrontational, nothing too disagreeable in the consent agenda. Board members always have the ability to pull out any item from the consent agenda if they believe it warrants either further discussion or they would like to abstain from that motion or vote against a particular resolution. So that option remains open to all board members, of course. Having said that, if we do not pull anything out of the consent agenda this evening, we'll be approving the minutes of the June 2nd, 2020 regular meeting and June 16th special meeting of the board. We have some personnel items to approve as well as our financials. We'll be considering the approval of our borrowing at a wonderful interest rate, thanks to Chris Abadou. Consideration of approval of the renewal agreement by and between the County of Saratoga Sheriff's Office. We'll consider the approval of athletic supplies bid awards. We'll consider the approval of health and welfare services provided to resident pupils attending schools out of the district. We will authorize a number of textbooks, consider the approval of a resolution for cooperative bidding for BOCES in the 2020-2021 school year. We'll consider approval of the disposal of assets, consider the approval of the abolishment of several positions. We will consider the approval of an amended contract with Brenda Kane, School Business Administrator. We'll consider the approval of the terms and conditions for management specialist employees for 2020-2021. We'll consider the approval of the terms and conditions for management confidential employees for 2020-2021. We'll consider the acceptance of spring grant awards from the BHBL Education Foundation. Consider the approval of the Board of Registration for the 2020-2021 school year. We'll consider the approval of a dual agreement resolution. We'll consider the approval of the disposal of obsolete and surplus books for our Rourke Middle School. Consider the acceptance of a donation of $1,000 from the Stewart's Holiday Match Program to purchase bubble panels for the Charlton Heights Knights Lounge. And finally, we will consider the approval of recommendations from the Committee on Special Education. Can we get a motion, please?
So moved.
A whole bunch of them. Since it's his last night, let's give this one to
Peter got it.
Yeah, Peter.
I got the second at that.
Yeah.
So Johnny, that's Peter, and a very excited Dave Versacchi with the second. All right, unless any board members have any items they'd like to pull out from the consent agenda, we'll just open it up to questions from the board.
I had already gotten my questions answered earlier.
I saw that. Thanks, Doc. All right, anything then, Chris or David or Dr. McGrath, that you would like to point out, draw attention to in the consent agenda?
Go ahead, Dave.
Yes, please, Patrick. Thank you. Want to take a look as we talk about bookends. We just celebrated, obviously, for a well-deserved hour, some of our amazing faculty who are retiring and have spent a lot of years with dedicated service to BHBL. This is another exciting board meeting where we can take a look at some of our newest members. We had some very recent new hires with the passing of our budget. We get to celebrate, and you can take a look down. A number of the names on there are individuals who have provided service to the district in some capacity, whether it had been part-time or in long-term sub-capacity. You'll see Mary Bond, Megan Christensen, Melinda Crowley, Michaela Durant, Aaron Jankowski, and Lejun Taylor, all employees who have provided service, and we're extremely proud to offer them opportunities in more full-time or in a different capacity. Again, as part of our budget process, we had some positions that had to be reallocated, and we have individuals who are stepping up and doing that, and we're extremely proud to have them taking on a new role for the district. Again, some individuals who went from part-time to full-time, and again, teachers who were in long-term sub-positions in gaining full-time status. So congratulations to all of the names that I just read. We're extremely excited to see them further their careers with us. But two individuals are on the call tonight that we're on for the hour. I forgot to mention that it was our retiree and student award celebration. So thank you to them for getting that little bit of our culture. But we have two art teachers that we'll be appointing to Burn Hills for the first time. And I want to thank Pete Giroux, who is on the call for an exceptional process, just like we talked about with our orchestra positions. But I want to first welcome and congratulate Erica Kaufman. I saw Erica on the call. Erica will be doing a 6/10 position in art at Charlton Heights. Erica, are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm totally thrilled to be a part of your team of art educators, and I look forward to the upcoming school year. Thank you, David.
Absolutely. And I'm going to speak a little more about Erica, but both of these individuals were in the same process. So I also want to congratulate and introduce to the board our full-time art teacher at Pashley and Charlton Heights, Alyssa Karras. Alyssa, I think you were on the call as well.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so excited to be working with the district this year.
So absolutely well deserved. Again, an exceptional, deep pool of candidates. A very comprehensive virtual application process. Both of these individuals rose to the top. Both of them are artists as well as art educators, which is going to bring a unique complexity to our already exceptional program. Again, just want to say congratulations to both of them and welcome them to the district.
Thanks, Dave. It's funny, as you were talking about the new hires, both of them happened to be up on the side of my screen at the same time, and I was kind of wondering who they were. Now, the nice thing about Google Meet is when you hover over a face, you get to see the name. So I was hoping you would introduce them. We welcome you both, and you get to see a little bit of what you have to look forward to here if you stay for 20, 30, 35 years, which is really a requirement once you start at BHBL. So settle in and get that 30-year mortgage. You're going to be here a while, and we look forward to working with you. So welcome and thanks. Thank you very much, Dave.
Thank you, Patrick. That's
All
it.
right. Thank you. Chris, anything from you tonight, Dr. Abadou?
Nothing in particular. That was well said by Mr. Collins, and I share his sentiments. Welcome aboard, folks.
Thank you. Thank you to Dr. McGrath as well. Anything from you tonight? Oh, wrong screen there. Where are we? There we go. All right, Dr. McGrath, thanks again for your help tonight and for helping to get this all set up. Anything you'd like to point out on the consent agenda this evening?
Just as I said to you on the call when we were setting up the agenda, apologize that it's such a long list of things. It's that time of year, trying to get everything. We're waiting. The budget pushed us right back against the June 30th end of the year deadline. And, between all the appointments that you see on the personnel agendas and then all these different contract updates and contractual things, I know it's a lot at one time, and we don't usually have such a long agenda other than just at that reorg meeting. So we appreciate you looking through this stuff and some of the questions that came in. Hopefully everyone got good answers. Also, want to point out number 5 there, that's a renewal of our contract with the Saratoga County Sheriff's Department, and our school resource officer will be Zach Sicardi again. Zach's just done a phenomenal job of what it really truly means to be a school resource officer. I've sung his praises throughout the pandemic, where the connections that he's made with our families, our kids, our home visits, just a truly exemplary police officer, and he's just been a great team member. So we're excited to have him on board with us for another year. And of course, we are doing some shuffling around with a couple of positions, reducing a couple of positions on the security side in order to get some time with Glenville school resource officer as well at some point potentially during this year to help us with our Glenville schools. So we'll have a nice balance. And Zach has set the bar for what it means to be a school resource officer, and that's all we'll accept when we get our next officer here as well. So just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. Actually, it's a great thought and great sentiment there, because my wife actually met Zach, I guess it was probably late last spring, early summer. We got to use the tennis courts up at the high school for a little while. And she was very surprised that there was a sheriff's deputy in full uniform with the belt on and everything, smacking tennis balls around with the kids. And I mean, not just a couple of kids. I mean, the kids love them. They were rotating through to get a chance to play a little tennis with our school resource officer. He's not just set the bar high. He is absolutely the example, the epitome of what you want in a school resource officer. So I'm thrilled and I'm hoping, of course, that with the passage of the consent agenda, that I can say that I'm thrilled to welcome him back in the coming year as well. So one more time, anything from any board members, and barring any other questions or anyone would like to pull anything out of the consent agenda, we have a motion on the floor. We can vote on all of these resolutions at one time. But any other questions before we move forward? If not, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. And as I mentioned, we left just a blank action item there, Pete, because we didn't want to give all this away. But we do have one other action item, and that is to vote for the record on this resolution for Dr. Sawyer upon his retirement from service, at least temporarily. As I've said to Pete before, there are no term limits here. We can always pull him back in a year or 2 or 3 or 4, so and which we'd be happy to do. But we also, just as a quick reminder, we do need to have this resolution on the books, and as part of the package we provide to NYSBA by the middle of July to put Pete up for the Service Recognition Award. So can I get a motion for the resolution honoring the service of Dr. Peter Sawyer?
So moved.
Lisa Morse with the motion. Thank you very much. Can we get a second?
Second.
Second. Okay, Don. We have the second from Don Marshall. Although I know I heard a couple of you there, I'm only picking on Don because his face is on my screen. So I'm not trying to show any preferential treatment. I can just see his lips moving. So we have a motion from Lisa and a second from Don. I think I've said enough about Dr. Sawyer, but now is your opportunity for anyone else that has any other thoughts or comments to add.
Nice job, Peter.
He is the most gracious fellow board member.
Thank you, Pete. We're certainly going to miss you.
Well, if you mess up, I'll always be there.
Perfect.
You know what's funny, Pete? Just as I started talking about the resolution and how we were going to miss you and talking about how you'd always cry, my phone starts beeping. I thought, my goodness, he's actually texting me while I'm telling him what a great job he did to tell me what to say. But it was my wife, so you're off the hook there. But I actually, for a moment, Pete, I actually thought it was you. I'm not saying something. So we're going to miss you, but thanks for all your service here. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sure we have no opposed, and we should put in Dr. Sawyer as an abstention, again, so we can have this as part of the package for NYSBA. So thank you all very much for that. And thank you again to Lisa for finding the Service Recognition Award on the NYSBA site and recommending it. And a big thank you to Tara Mitchell for drafting the whereas for us and everyone that turned in some comments about our time with Pete. Thank you all for the help. It's funny. This is also my last board meeting. I forget about it as I'm trying very hard here to keep everything going so Pete doesn't yell at me. But it's interesting, even in trying to pull together a board meeting, I'm still texting Dr. McGrath right before the meeting because I somehow miss it. We moved the recognition as part of the actual board meeting. So I was trying to figure out, we saying the pledge now or the pledge after? And there's a lot to keep on top of here. There's a lot to look at when you have all these resolutions up before you for every board meeting. Our online meetings have been relatively short. Typically, we're in the boardroom till all hours of the night. And really, you couldn't do it without a team like the folks that we have here, Pete and the whole team that I've mentioned as well. So thanks all for your help.
Hey, Patrick.
Together. Dr. McGrath, yes, sir.
Before we move into reports and communications, as long as we're sort of saying goodbyes, although maybe they're hopefully only just kind of, sort of goodbyes. There's somebody else on the call who I don't know if she's prepared to turn her camera on. I think her camera's off right now. But if Jackie's there and is listening, she might just be monitoring us from home. Something else to do on a Tuesday night. But Jackie is, Jackie was the board secretary for a long time. Was my assistant for a long time. When she retired, she helped us out for the past 2 years as our registrar, and really just our resident expert on all things Burnt Hills. And I know Dottie's here, and she'll agree with me that Jackie's just been an awesome person, mostly to have around, not to mention as a professional. So she's finishing up her formal role with us next week, and I know she'll be around as a substitute, and hopefully we can call on her to help us out. But I just wanted to mention that I hope she's listening, and I didn't know she was going to be here tonight. But we did her retirement and a lot of the the fun retirement stuff a couple of years ago, but she really stuck around and helped us out through a tough time, saved us a position and helped us, with the registration and all the registrar stuff. Her replacement is going to be the Marianne DeLuca, who's the assistant in the guidance office. With the middle school contracting the offices all together with the new construction, we reorganized to have Marianne come here. We're not going to replace her position, but she's going to come here. She's a really senior person with a great understanding of the whole guidance world and registration world. She's going to split her time between HR and Dave's office, and Dottie and she are going to work together here in AQUAD for a lot of the time, and then she'll spend some time. Marianne will spend some time down in HR. So tried to save on that, and that was one of the positions that was eliminated as part of the budget, but also kind of contracted and try to be creative. So Jackie, if you're here, thank you. We'll miss you, but we know you're not far, and we appreciate everything that you've done for us.
All right. Trying to give Jackie a minute here. And in case she's trying to get off mute, that can be kind of tricky. But it doesn't sound like she's coming off mute if she's still with us, although her name just popped up there. So feel free to cut me off at any time, Jackie, if you unmute the phone or the computer. But if not, I'll just chime in with a very sincere thank you. One of my first policy meetings, I was sitting with Dr. McGrath, and we were struggling with something, and I think it was residents of people moving into the district, building homes, things like this. And when do we count them as a resident? When do they pay tuition? When are they actually here? When can the kids go to school? And I vividly remember Jackie Martini sticking her head in and the two of us getting an earful of all kinds of stories about what's happened in the past, things to watch for, things to be careful of and things to remember. So you lose some of that when you lose some of these folks that have been here as long as people like Jackie have. So thanks for everything, Jackie, and all your insight. And it's always lovely seeing you at the district offices when you're around.
Thanks, Patrick.
All right, so I think now we go to reports and communications. That was our only action item for tonight, so I'm just going to go down the screen based on who I see here. And Dr. Sawyer, it is up to you first if you have anything to share tonight, sir.
I just want to thank all of you for the kind words, and we've really got a stellar board. We've got a lot of talent, a lot of expertise, a lot of commitment. And it's nice to step down knowing that there's such a great board here. I'm really happy with who you selected. It's going to replace me. I think Lashmi's going to do a tremendous job. So I have no worries about stepping down. But if I can ever help out, just let me know. I'm only a phone call away.
Thanks, Pete. Be careful what you wish for. All right. Mrs. Longton, you are next on my screen. It's funny. I think I drove right by you heading to your office here as I was heading to mine, and now I'm sure that was you as I'm looking at the background there. So, anything for reports and communication tonight?
I just wanted to say that PA, I'm really going to miss you. You bring so much to the table, and I wish you the best for sure.
Thank you.
And so what's the next one? Is it July 7th? Is that is that the date? Okay.
Right. And
so I am not going to be in town, and I can't promise that I'm going to have Wi-Fi.
Thanks for letting us know. And actually, if I can jump in quick, Jen, if you don't mind, that is also the night of our audit committee meeting. So I'm sure Chris was going to mention that as well. I believe that's at 5:30 that evening, and then the reorganizational meeting is at 7.
Okay. Yep, that's all I had.
Good. Thanks for letting us know. Mr. Versace, anything from you tonight, sir?
Sure, why not? Peter, I wanted to just say one thing. In my short time on the board, one of the things I've appreciated was, we're all thoughtful and we all have our opinions, but I have always appreciated your insight and thoughtfulness about every topic that we brought up, not just ones that are necessarily in your wheelhouse. And certainly our walks to the car and carrying some of those philosophical conversations on after a long night was very much appreciated. So thanks very much. And Michaela, to you, I made some comments for Hannah on thanking her. I would encourage you, be confident. If you have something to say, a question to ask, you ask it or say it. There is no raise your hand and ask for permission. You speak up and be confident. It is your place on this board, and so welcome, and we look forward to working with you as well. And I had one item that maybe I could just ask. I didn't do it in email for agenda items, but Patrick or team, as we move on and you start informing us about reentry plans and fall plans, one of the things that I think we probably would want an update on is about what the landscape for potential extracurricular activities starts to look like. That will be a question the community will ask quite a bit, as well as what are our kids going to be doing classroom learning wise. So if either through you or direct from somebody like the athletic director, Joe, if we can get some update maybe in the next meeting, that would be great. I know all the answers aren't had, but I think and for the public, whatever is consumable, those types of things throughout the summer forums. And I know their coaches will be communicating, but it's a big question.
Sure, absolutely. And I would just say that, we would consider this couple of weeks as kind of in a brainstorming phase. we really Don knows, he's been on the reopening committee, that we're kind of picturing it as we know off on that horizon. There's a few roads we might be traveling in September, whether it comes to classes, whether it comes to sports activities, and we don't know which road. And in some ways, we're going to get pointed on one of those roads, right? I mean, we don't know that it's going to be a lot of our choice. However, the more, as we picture the month of July being a month where it starts to come into focus, where we'll start to get a sense of where we will probably be, barring, you know, other changes in the conditions on the ground, so to speak. So we are ready, and we recognize that we've taken an opportunity amongst all the other things we've all been doing, right? Like the budget vote and graduation and end of year activities and all those. But we've been kind of taking a chance to take it all in right now and just read and think and look and read all the plans that other states and other places are doing. But we recognize that very quickly we're going to need to start making some decisions and moving down some roads, even if we might have to be ready to pivot other ways. But so that's kind of, I very much appreciate that point. A lot of people have been asking, even today, 3 different situations where people just need to know, you know, and they really start planning right now, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And, you know, I think we, like all of us, we wind up in the community, different groups, and in the absence of information, people make stuff up, right? And, you know, and so, you know, you start to hear wacky things,
right?
You know, and, you know, they're just not true, but, you know, so anything we do to say, hey, here's where we're at now, if there is an at, you know, I think that's kind of stuff that, you know, or if here's what the section or the state's talking about from this perspective. You know, I know things change daily. I get it. It's just, whatever information can be shared, maybe at the next meeting would be appreciated.
Great point. And I'll take this chance to add, the same kind of uncertainty still exists around the budget. So we have been having a lot of internal conversations about when or if do we start filling the vacant positions that we still have. You know, we have a decent number of vacant positions that they're not anybody's job right now. So on one hand, you know, if you just didn't fill them, you'd save a lot of money. On the other hand, they're jobs that we count on: guidance counselors, social workers, 6th grade teacher, social studies teacher. So there's a lot of, you know, do we hire or do we wait? So we're wrestling with that. But again, we realize that we have to make some decisions and move down a road pretty quickly here. So we're sort of just taking advantage of this late June to kind of keep soaking it all in. But as soon as the 4th, after we get past the 4th, you know, it'll be time to start hitting the ground and kind of assessing things and making some decisions in all these areas.
Sure. Okay.
Thanks.
You.
Thanks, Abe. All right, Lisa, your face is up next, so it's all you.
I want to just say thank you to you all for another successful year. I think we've, as others have said, have done a really good job of navigating this crazy time as a board, with respect and consideration for all opinions. And I appreciate working with you all. And I think that the administration, Patrick, and your team have done a beautiful job of really keeping in mind the students' needs first. And I appreciate that sincerely. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Marshall, any thoughts for us tonight, sir?
Sure. First of all, Peter, really going to miss you. Your legacy on the board will be long-lived, and it'll be the focus on making sure that what we're doing works to the best of our ability to determine that. And that's always a really good thing. Hopefully I'm going to see you. Let's do some more Taco Tuesdays. Those were a lot of fun. And I definitely want to do that with you again. It's already been touched on, but I was going to mention the reopening committee. As you said, Patrick, I've been involved in some of those meetings, broke down into several very important groups. It's been a very positive process. There's been some great people involved in that, some great discussions, some great scenarios, some great heads up. You can just see people have their hearts and their minds focused on doing the right thing by our students and faculty and district in regard to those processes and the ultimate decisions that will have to be made in regard to what we're going to do with school next year. So we have been busy. There's been a lot of meetings. There's been a lot of discussions. We're moving, as you said, Patrick, to phase 2. We're going to take all that information, all that input, have some more discussions and look at some more scenarios, try to get more information, and then wait for some guidance. But we are well into that process. It's been thorough, and it's been good to be a part of it. But I'm sure whatever decision winds up being made will be an informed decision, and will be based primarily on safety. Safety is the thing that kept coming up in every one of the meetings. Student safety, faculty safety, parent safety, community safety, all that is going to be a part of that decision, as well as a lot of other things. It's a very important decision. There's a lot of very important issues that need to be continued to discuss and move towards resolutions. So just rest assured that that process is in good hands and is moving forward well.
Well said. Well said. I've been on a number of those meetings, not as many as you have, Don, unfortunately, due to the work schedule, but I would concur with all of your thoughts. Very thoughtful. I tell you that, and I'm sure you saw this too, Don. One of the first meetings when Mike Moselle pulled out that flow chart. I mean, my goodness, this isn't just people that are putting in time on the committee. They're putting in a lot of time outside of this committee and a lot of thought and a lot of effort. And that's, goes, of course, for our crack administrative team here as well. But Suzanne Rayom has been sharing articles about what they're doing in different schools or provinces in France and across Europe. So we're not only, as John Blowers would say, he loves the word, and I've stolen it from him, benchmarking. We're not just benchmarking against New York State or the rest of the country, but globally. So it's just a phenomenal team, my goodness. And it's been a pleasure to be a part of that, the meetings I've been able to make. So thanks for representing us on those meetings as well, Don. It's good to have you there. All right, Michaela, since you're here, if you have any thoughts, we should probably fill you in here instead of just putting you on the spot right away. We close all of our board meetings with reports and communication. So this would be the time where if you have anything that would be relevant to share with the rest of the board, thoughts or concerns, I think Dave Rasaki said it best. You are a true and fully functioning, not always voting member of the board, but certainly an integral part of the board. So if you have any thoughts, comments, concerns from the student perspective, this is your time at any meeting to share them, and we're happy to hear them. So welcome aboard. If you have anything tonight, Michaela, the floor is yours. If you can get off mute, there you go.
I'm sorry, doesn't have trouble with that.
What are you eating?
Skittles. But I guess just from the student perspective, my biggest thing has been the emotional and social well-being of students, no matter what situation we're in, whether it's complete remote or hybrid or fully back to normal like we were at the beginning of this year. And I haven't been able to be on the social emotional subgroup as part of the reopening committee, so I'm sure that they're really focusing on that. But I guess I just really want to make sure that we focus on that aspect for students, because that's the biggest thing that kids have been struggling with throughout this entire pandemic and this whole at-home learning situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
For sure. The
great
committee
thought.
is very well aware of that, and it's number one on everybody's list. It's the most important. Thank you for mentioning it and reminding us.
Thank you.
Yep. Well said, Michaela. So anything else you'd like to share tonight?
No, I don't think so. I guess just thank you all for making me feel already so welcome to this new group. I'm really excited, and it's super cool to be Hannah Shell's and
Somebody's gonna say that. Somebody's gonna say that about you.
I hope so.
No, it always happens because you guys have always amazed us coming on the board, and the different. If we could just, we should put together like a chain of all these amazing students that have one handed it off to the next each year, and I'm sure you're going to be an awesome. I can tell already you're going to be a great member.
Thank you. So
Yeah, thanks for joining us. I tell you, I'm just so impressed that we have students every year that want to take this on and sit on subcommittees. I can say it's so impressive. I know when I was your age, the last thing I wanted to do is spend a few hours, a couple of Tuesdays a month with a bunch of old people like me. So I really appreciate it as well. We've had some great students, and as Dr. McGrath said, you'll just be another link in that chain for sure. So, all right. So welcome again. Thank you. Dr. Abadou, do you want to go next? You've been, again, another meeting. You've been surprisingly quiet, man.
I've learned my lesson. No, I think talked a lot about the retirees. You heard enough from me then. Two quick things. This time of the year, we always have this issue where the bid awards for some of our summer transportation runs are going to happen later this week, and we will have to actually start transporting those students. There's a few private schools that are having our students do in-person work, our special education students this summer. So by law, we have to transport them. Those transportation duties are going to start, I think, the day of or the day before the next board meeting. So just letting you know that those are going to be a little bit backdated. We don't usually like to do that, but this is one of those situations where it's unavoidable. The other thing I wanted to mention is I have attached to you Jeff West's construction report. I am almost as excited as the progress we're making as I am about Hamilton streaming on Disney Plus on July 3rd. So that'll tell you how excellent the progress is going. So take a quick look at that. And if you have any questions, let us know. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. All right, Mr. Collins, you are off mute. So you're ready to go. What do you have for us tonight?
Thanks, Patrick. Couple quick things really quickly. Again, welcome, Michaela. If you need anything, I know it's normally we're in person, so I'm happy to be your go-to. It's kind of my role. So we'll get to know each other, and feel free to email me if you're worrying or wondering about anything. Just let me know. You're going to do great. If your work on the reopening is any preview, you're going to do great. So thank you quickly to Hannah. We did our first year together, so that was fun. Neither of us knew what we were in for, but it's been good. Huge thank you to Jackie too. In this first year, it's just been totally tumultuous, and how many times I've walked in with that glazed look in my eye and she pointed me in the right direction. So, and then finally, really quickly, Peter as well, both in my previous role and my current role, making me think about things, challenging me on things, and I appreciate that. Just real quick from my seat, summer school is up and ready to go on July 6th. A lot went into it. Oh my goodness, comparative to normal. We were all ready for full remote, and then the governor talked about potential in person. Sharon McTighe and Darcy Passarelli ran an amazing kind of group think to talk with parents and teachers to talk about where we would be. We decided for many reasons to be remote for this particular piece of ESY, although we are looking at certain things like related services and other things as we try to provide the best absolute highest quality summer program to our special education students. Darcy Passarelli will be running ESY. Tom Diacetes will be running a high school program. Lindsay Wilson and Carrie Sunkis, our elementary program, and Rob Duell will be stepping in for our middle school program as summer school principals. We are up and ready to go. You've approved the instructors, and we will be running and helping our students, obviously, in remote learning. We know summer program is going to be critical to work with students who've had a gap in learning and propel them into September, whatever that might look like. So I just want to thank our principals and the individuals I mentioned for helping us plan summer program. Huge public thank you to the reopening committee. That's already been mentioned. And then just a quick mention, we talked about Ed Law 2D a little bit, and Dave has been kind of the resident expert on that as well. Tracy Falvo, our BTCs, and our IT team have been working really hard. We have been working on our contract with Tara Moffat and Bob Van Branken. We're in a good place to start going after contracts. BOCES is a huge help with that as they're partnering with us. So we are venturing into making sure that the software that we use is compliant and is safe for our use. And that's a huge lift going on with everything else. That's been a huge lift. So thank you to the board for all your support during this time and always. That's all I have.
Thanks, Dave. All right, Dr. McGrath.
A couple things. I'll start with you, Peter. So I've been superintendent for 8 years now. Amazingly, this finishing up my 8th year. 6 of those years were with Peter. In particular, the 2016-17 school year when Peter was the president was probably my toughest year as superintendent for outside reasons for the way, outside forces that were going on in the district. It was just a tough time. And Peter was the president, and I will always remember the talk we had at my kind of like toughest point in that year, most discouraged, him coming alongside and just a really honest, encouraging conversation. And we just kind of and it was honest, and it was suggestions about things, from a leadership point of view, and I took his advice, and we worked through a couple things on the staff side with all the stuff that was going on with the opt-outs and the APPRs and the Common Core and all the stuff. It was just a lot of emotion, and Peter had a way to get through that, and I'll always remember that and credit, that time, Peter, to kind of all kinds of good stuff since then. So I appreciate that very much. And I know you're going to be around town, and you'll probably get me on the Rotary one of these days. So thank you so much for your service, and consider you a good friend. So thank you. So the other things are quickly, I noticed that Chris put in a copy of the reorg agenda for the July 9th. That's the 2019. You didn't put it, maybe Dottie put it in there, but it's last year's agenda. So that you can just take a look at it and see all the things that we're going to have to approve, and just kind of, so you're not overwhelmed by it when you get the actual agenda. Take a look at that. Also, take a look at the meeting schedule draft for 2021 for board meetings. We put together what we think is will work with all of our deadlines that we need. But if there's any concerns there, that's in reports and communications as well. We did the Wednesday shift during basketball season, and that allows us to be present and be out there. And it is nice because there's so many people, if we're in that role, in the buildings and stuff. It's worked out well last year, so we're going to propose doing that again. But other than that, it should be pretty standard. There is the first meeting of this. We proposed a late July meeting, a mid-August meeting, and then September 1st. So it won't be a ton of time over the summer, but we could even use that late July meeting potentially as like a retreat or a get together, kind of a planning session or something as well. But when the board leadership rolls over and we can start talking about how we want to use that summertime. But those are the dates we would like people to try to reserve: July 30th, August 18th, and July 28th, August 18th, and September 1st to get us through the summer. And finally, Chris, the newsletter's on there, right, from Jeff West with all the construction updates. And then I think Chris is going to be sending you guys a really cool time lapse of phase 1 of the transportation center. It's really neat. And actually, not only the transportation center, but take a look at the sky during the whole thing. You learn there's some cool science going on there. So Chris will send that out. You can even watch it on faster speed by going to 2x in the settings, and then it takes about 2 minutes to get through the whole thing, and it's really neat. So that's going well, and I know Chris put an update in there. So I just wanted to call everybody's attention to that, and thank you for covering so much ground tonight.
Yeah, thank you to everyone, and this has been quite a year. You mentioned the retreat, Doc, and I think of our retreat back at the Charlton Tavern and all the things that we had planned for, and all that we laid out that night. And funny enough, a global pandemic wasn't one of those things we were really planning for. It wasn't on the radar, and having meetings via Google Meet here was not something that we were even considering back then. In fact, if I think back on some of the things that we were talking about at that time, and even who our guest speaker was, we thought we were going to be facing some real challenges this year in some completely different ways. But as this district and this administration and our teachers and principals always do, our special education team, they really pulled quite a bit together and saw us through not only the year up until the pandemic, but the time since, as well as could be expected. I'll close with this as I wrap up my year. I was talking to someone that I work part-time with here over at Simmons Capital. I won't mention the school district that her son is in, other than to say it's not far away. It's in the suburban council. And I had just come back here to Simmons Capital. So this was maybe about 3.5 weeks ago. I really needed to use the office space with the kids at home. I couldn't keep up with everything. And so now I have this wonderful space here to myself, fortunately. And so I was talking to one of our brokers, and she said that things were going really well, that the week prior, her son just got his Chromebook home so that he could catch up on all the work they had missed over the 6 to 8 weeks that our students had been home working and engaging with teachers and staff. So, as president of a school board like this and a district like this, it's really nice when you can talk to people who say to you, my goodness, you guys are doing a heck of a job up there. And I can say I can't really take any credit for it, but it sure is a source of pride to be a part of this team and to have spent the year as president. Even though it didn't turn out the way we expected, it was a heck of a good one. So a great job by all. Thank you all for your friendship and your support over the course of the year. We have some great people stepping up for the next year and look forward to serving you however I can. And with that, we will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Peter.
Dr. Sawyer, motion to adjourn. Can we get a second, please?
Second.
Second by Mr. Versacchi. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'm sure that motion carried. Thank you all very much for a great year. Really appreciate it. And I hope to see you all in person soon. Be well.
You all take care. I hope I'll see you around.
Peter, we better see you around. Best wishes.
No doubt.